Ta-da. I broke it again. I'm good at this, dude. I'm great at breaking this.
You were listening to the only show where a former police officer alongside a current law school student tackle politics, the legal system, and corruption. The show known around the world as Qualified Immunity.
And here we go. I think.
Okay.
Dude, I'm like breaking everything tonight. Oh my gosh! Oh my god! Well, I had this great plan all set out.
I mean, I'd offer to help, but
Yeah, no.
yeah, but I don't think you want that.
Yeah. I literally am breaking everything. Okay, I fixed it. I think. Okay, yeah, I fixed it. So, the real question becomes, who is the president?
Who is the president?
Let me rephrase that. Who is the president-elect?
I just thought of something really dark.
What?
You know how much it would suck to be an Alzheimer's patient right now?
Oh my god. I don't know what it feels like to be Joe Biden.
Oh my gosh.
What? Here's the real question. Are you ever... Never mind, that's a bad question to ask you.
I talked to some Democrats the other day. They don't think Joe Biden is actually that bad. They think his stuttering is part of the problem. And I didn't want to argue with them.
Okay.
But I was just sitting there thinking, no, it's bad. Stuttering doesn't make you look that bad.
Okay.
You were going to ask me something. Sorry.
No, I started to ask you a question, and I realized how much of a dumb idea it is to ask you that question. So I'm going to ask you a generalized question. Do you believe the American public will ever trust an election ever again? Honestly.
Well, what do you mean by trust? I mean,
for the most part, the American public has trusted elections up until this point.
I mean, I think they'll just assume that there's that, at least a possibility that they're rigged from now on. I don't think they're actually going to do anything about it. I could see this being used as an excuse to push for election reform, which I think is going to end badly.
Anything that ever has government in it ends badly.
Well, and usually when... So, I worked for this really, really old guy. It was my first job at a law firm. And one of the things that he worked a lot with campaigns and political politics, whatever. One of the things that he always said was campaign finance reform is always a joke because of who writes it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're always going to write it to benefit themselves. And when they write it, they know how to get around it.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, it's easy to write something to get around it. It's not hard to find ways around laws. It's just a lot easier when you're writing the law itself.
I agree.
So I think election reform, regardless of what it is going to end badly.
But, okay, at the end of all of this, is the American public ever going to trust the electoral process again? And the reason I say that is it's so divided. 50% of the country, okay, 50.5% versus 49 point, whatever you want to say, it's basically 50-50. 50% of the country voted for Donald Trump. 50% of the country voted for Joe Biden, allegedly.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. I think there's fraud here. I think there's fraud on every single different way you can have fraud.
Well, the other thing is, so when you talk about this to people, I'll talk mostly to Republicans because we're in Oklahoma and that's most of what you get. Republicans are convinced that there is voter fraud, but it's all Democrats. Like they're convinced that there is.
I think there's voter fraud both sides. I think
there is too, but you can't convince Republicans that there's Republican voter fraud.
Because you and I were talking about this earlier. There were points in the night where Joe Jorgensen lost votes.
Yes, she went from 10,000 to I think it was like around 7,000 at one point, and nobody said anything, and still nobody is saying anything. You bring this up to people, and they're like, "Oh, yeah." It's like,
no. You bring this up to people. It goes the number, and I don't know if they'll ever say this, but their initial thought is, "Well, did those votes go to my guy?"
Yeah. I mean, they won't say that.
Biden supporters don't care if Joe Jorgensen votes went to Biden. They only care if Jorgensen votes went to Trump.
Yeah.
And vice versa. Now, I do believe that there are more Trump supporters who will be like, no, we didn't get those. Give them to her.
Maybe. I don't know.
I know some Trump supporters that would say that.
I know some Democrats that would say that too.
Really?
Yeah.
See, I don't know any Democrats that would say that.
But the problem is, nobody cares if there's election fraud if their person is winning. They just don't care. And
do you think this goes to the Supreme Court?
Yes.
Do you think the Supreme Court will decide the presidency?
Very possibly, yes.
I'm scared to even ask the next question.
Trump.
I know. But the problem with that becomes, because you and I were talking about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Kavanaugh, Gorsuch, Barrett, and Chief Justice John Roberts were involved in what case?
Bush v. Gore.
Bush v. Gore.
Specifically
on Bush's defense team.
Yes.
And there's a whole argument to be made here that Al Gore won.
Maybe.
That's
the thing with the decision that the Supreme Court handed down. I'm not sure Bush actually won that one. I mean, he won the case, but I'm not sure he won the election.
Me either.
And now it's possible that he did win.
Now, going back and looking at it, go back and look through it. Gore won. Gore won Florida.
I'm not even going that far. I'm just saying I don't know. I mean, I don't think the American public knows, and I don't think they ever will know.
There's a bunch of votes that got thrown out. The Hanging Chads, a bunch of them got thrown out, and it was like 90% Gore votes.
Yeah, I believe that.
Like, it was one of those. Granted, most of the people that voted for Gore then are probably dead now. But you were running into an issue right now to where I really, really, really don't think, I don't know, man. That's one of those, I absolutely have no idea. Because you are really running into an area where if you do not have, you can have fraud in an election if it's a landslide and nobody even notices, nobody cares, etc.
Yeah.
You really can. You can have fraud in an election as long as it's a landslide and nobody honestly gives a shit.
Well, if it doesn't actually affect the outcome,
nobody cares.
Why would you care?
I don't know. Ask Nixon. Sorry.
No.
Set it up. I answered the question. But you really are running this moment of, it doesn't matter how this ends up. Because I'm starting to lean towards the idea that Biden does win the presidency. Even if it goes to the Supreme Court.
Say that again?
I'm starting to lean towards the idea that Biden wins the presidency, even if it goes to the Supreme Court.
You think the Supreme Court might hand it to Biden?
Knowing how Washington works, yeah. Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, that would be this. Honestly,
It'd be the smart move.
it would be the smart thing to do.
Well, that depends.
Okay. I love it when you say that word.
I know you do. Like, damn it.
When a law student says it, it's like, oh, whatever. When you say it specifically, it's like, oh, here we go.
If you want Biden as president, you're right. If you're looking at it as Harris as president, is it really? Unless you want to backdoor set this up for Junior.
No, the Supreme Court would probably rather have Harris than Pence or Trump. Yeah, actually, you can strike down, yeah. Yep.
Judicial careerness.
Well, there are lots of reasons. The really terrible reason, and this isn't like a hard and fast rule, but lawyers like lawyers.
Yeah.
Lawyers like it when lawyers make policy.
No, I understand that. As much as that drives me nuts, I understand it.
I understand it, but I don't think that's. I disagree with that concept. But I mean, that's whatever. There's also.
Man, we legitimately have a freaking warning on our YouTube.
Really?
Yes.
What does it say? It does not play well with others.
No, it says U.S. elections. The AP has called a presidential race for Joe Biden. See more on Google.
Oh yes, I did see that.
Robust safeguards help ensure the integrity of elections and results. That's literally what we're talking about. No, it doesn't. Like, that's my problem is, will you ever, like, can you ever trust anything ever again? I don't know, man.
Well, they've also called it for Biden, but we've got, what, 97% reporting? Like, we're not done yet. It might be done, but we're not done.
We're not done till the Supreme Court says you're done.
Probably.
Like, and that makes me sound like a jerk, but, and I keep seeing these news articles. Well, this Trump lawsuit got thrown out, and this Trump lawsuit got thrown out, and this Trump lawsuit. Guess what? It doesn't matter. One of them has to work. Because didn't the AP just take back something they had said?
I heard that from somebody. I haven't been able to find anything specifically from the AP. So.
Oh, what did I text you earlier today?
They had. It looks like they may have issued an explanation of why they call her how. I don't know. I'll have to see if I can find that.
I'm trying to find. So Mark Levin TV, whatever. Levin TV is calling North Carolina and Alaska for Trump. Levin TV Decision Desk is also calling Tillis and Sullivan winners in their Senate races. The Levin TV Decision Desk awaits more information from Pennsylvania, Arizona, Wisconsin, Georgia, Nevada, and Michigan.
Yeah.
You get half of those.
Yeah.
It swings the race.
Yeah, you got people. You got the AP says that Biden won, and then you've got other sources that say, well, we're not really sure yet.
It's too close.
Yeah.
It's legitimately too close to call.
And I do have to appreciate they're not just saying, oh no, Trump won it. They're saying, hey, let's figure this out before we start calling the election.
By the way, I know I generally add this at the end. I'm now on Parler.
Oh. So infinity plus one is still infinity.
Yes. Infinity plus one is still infinity. Crap, what was I going to look up? Oh, I don't know what's going to look up. Election results. Like, okay, 98% reporting. Okay, there's 98% reporting. There's still 2% to left to report.
Where's that? Arizona?
Arizona.
Okay.
Biden is winning by 15,000 votes.
That's not much.
That's not much at all.
How many total votes are there so far?
3.2 million.
15,000 is not much.
It's 1,648,000 to 1,633,000, and then JoJo coming in strong with a strong third at 50,000 votes.
Okay.
I don't know.
That is less than 0.5%.
I know, that's it. Like, it's 0.4%. They're separated by 0.4%.
And this isn't like a definite like fact, but I would assume
And-
the larger precincts are probably the ones not reporting.
Well, and this is the other thing too, and I really, really want to say this when it comes to everything. Until the first Wednesday after the second Monday in December,
Yeah.
nobody has won the presidency.
Yeah.
Every single thing you will look at says projects so and so, or this says the Post, because this is the Washington Post, says the Post estimates 98% of the votes cast have been counted. Estimates. Like, it's just, this is one of those projects and estimates. The thing what Biden's doing right now, and I understand it, he's acting like the winner.
Yeah.
Because if he's acting like the winner, it puts more pressure on SCOTUS to not make him the winner.
Right.
And the irony is, I keep saying SCOTUS, and I really halfway catch myself trying to say scrotum instead of SCOTUS, and they're pretty close to each other.
In spelling or in concept?
In both. Yes. The problem becomes now, and I said this before on an episode that got taken down by everybody so far. I haven't got it back up yet. But I said it before, and I'll say it again. I had a preference who won over the other on election night, but I wanted it to be called on election night.
Yeah.
Because now you have started in motion one of the most dangerous things you could ever happen in a free society, because it no longer matters. If it comes out tomorrow, literally, if it comes out tomorrow and a court, right, wrong, and different, it comes out tomorrow that Philadelphia added 150,000 ballots that should not have been counted, and the court throws them out and it puts Trump over the edge in Pennsylvania or one other state. Because, so, somebody put this on Facebook. You and I were talking about this. Nobody gets to 270, right? It goes to the House of Representatives, right?
Right.
There's a technicality in there I forgot about. They do not vote per member.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
They vote per state delegation.
Yeah. So whoever wins, say Oklahoma, you've got 5 people in the House.
Yep.
3 of them go for Trump, 2 of them go for Biden. Trump gets 1 vote.
Yes.
Okay.
It goes by state delegation. Which,
I've forgotten about that, but to be fair, we haven't had this happen since 1800. So
I think it was the 1880s. There was somebody who was talking today, was it the 1880s? That there was a presidential election overturned in the 1880s.
I mean, the most famous case of the House deciding was in 1800 with Jefferson and Hamilton.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
No.
Jefferson and Adams.
Adams. You're right. It was Jefferson. That's all I know.
It was Jefferson, yay! Lucas over here like, it's Jefferson, yay! No, there was a presidential election overturned in the 1880s, I think, where fraud was so rampant that this is the problem, though. You've got the moment in time See the thing. Without Arizona, Biden's current electoral college total is still 279. Here's the actual problem. Pennsylvania is where this Pennsylvania, and I'm telling you, Michigan's going to come into play in this because there's the graphic everybody. Well, you're not on social media. Have you seen the whole graphic of Trump going up, Biden going up, and then Biden does this?
No.
Oh my God, it's a vote graphic, and it's like they're both steadily climbing, and literally there's a spike, like a straight spike, and it comes over where Biden overtakes Trump.
Is this in the popular vote, or is this in
a popular vote in the state? It was in Michigan.
Okay.
And
I was going to ask if it was Michigan.
Yeah, and it said everybody's making it because it makes an F out of it. Okay. So everybody's putting like fraud.
Well, I figured it was probably Michigan because wasn't that the state where they dumped like 125,000 votes all at once?
Yes.
And all of them were for
Biden. Yeah. Like that, you're running into a problem here where it goes, even if you don't want to believe it, even if you want to say, oh, that it was true, whatever, half the country's not going to believe that. If you come in and invalidate a bunch of them and it changes the scale, the other half of the country is going to say, well, he stole the election, he's a fascist. You have come to a point in modern society where we can no longer function as a country. Yeah. We can't. It's impossible. Because, and this, I said this to you the other day, it doesn't, one side's either just going to ignore the law.
Yeah. Well.
Or they already are.
They've been doing that for a long time.
But they're going to ignore it, or the flip side of that is the other side's going to riot.
You could have both, Greg.
That's my fear, honestly. Because everybody's talking about the trucker strike, and if you have not heard about the trucker strike yet, they're not kidding.
Well, and I told somebody about that, and they're like, well, what are they striking for? And
they will turn their trucks off.
Well, they asked why would they strike? I said, why else would they strike? I mean, of all the truckers that I know, they're almost all Trump supporters.
Because he got the economy moving again. Yeah. And this is the thing people don't understand this. Because you live in a society of you go to Walmart, it's there, you buy it, you go home. You don't understand that the entire country is on a 72-hour cycle, and if you had, and I'm not even talking about 100%, you had 20 to 25% of truckers legitimately strike for 2 weeks, shit show does not even begin to describe it.
They do not make your chicken and turkey in the backside of Walmart.
No.
They truck that in from halfway across the country.
Yes. The other side of that is too, and people don't want to comprehend this, there's been a trucker shortage for years. Yeah. Like, no joke, there has been a legitimate commercial truck driver shortage for years. They have been begging people to go drive semis. Yeah. Like, there are some semi-truck drivers out there that no BS make $100,000 a year.
Oh yeah, that's easy.
With their eyes closed. And this is without the oil field. Huh?
Hopefully not.
Well, yeah. This is without the oil field. When the oil field was in high gear, I knew a truck driver that made over $200,000 a year.
I actually briefly looked into going into that industry before I went to law school, and it probably pays about the same.
Uh-huh.
And they'll actually pay for your truck driving school most.
Yeah, they will. You have to drive for them for 2 years, and you're only making like 50, 60 grand a year instead of. I mean, if you're an owner operator and you legitimately want to work, you can make $200K a year. Yeah. The trick is families and birthdays and etc.
I also know guys that are truckers and they don't have a real house, like they use like their parents' house, as an address, but they don't have a house because you don't need one.
Yeah.
You just sleep in your truck all the time.
Yeah.
So,
like if I wasn't married and I didn't have kids.
It's a sweet deal. If you're looking for a job, please look into truck driving.
Well, you might want to wait till after the strike.
I don't know.
True, supply and demand. Yeah. It's just you're running into this moment of time of if they legitimately do, and you don't need 100%, you don't need 40%, you need 20% of American truck drivers to turn their trucks off and say, no, it's not worth it. Because owner-operators, you start talking about diesel getting to $5 to $6 to $7 a gallon.
Yeah.
They won't do it. It's not worth it. Financially, it's not worth it. So, one, you can believe what you want to believe, and you can look on media reports and yada, yada, yada. There is no clear victor yet. There's not. There's not a clear president-elect yet. And, I mean, you heard it here. I think Lucas and I both agree this will go to the Supreme Court. I don't know how it ends up. And that, because I'm telling you right now, mark my words, if the Supreme Court says Donald Trump is president of the United States for the 4 years, the coasts will burn. And I'm not saying that jokingly. Like, Portland's already on fire. Seattle's pretty close to it. But you're going to see civil unrest at a whole different metric. And at that point, and this is a strong word to use, but it doesn't matter which side wins out of this. Insurrection is inevitable. Now, that being said, if we all wanted to be adults, nobody has to die in a divorce. Let's just say, hey, he's our president. You guys can have him as your president. Secession is a thing. Like, it legitimately needs to get talked about now, because I do not comprehend why people are so, well, we're all Americans. Yeah. I mean, we are by legalese. Like, can we just divide this stuff up and move on about our lives? You're not going to agree, people. Like, you're not going to get Silicon Valley to agree with rural Oklahoma. You live in two different entire spheres of existence.
Yeah. And neither one of them understands the other.
No.
I'm not saying one is better than the other. I'm just saying that they don't understand.
And that's what you and I discussed this, I don't know, never on air, but you could split Oklahoma into 3 different states.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
Ridiculously easy.
Yeah.
Because the ecosphere and the entire society from one part of this state to another, they don't get it.
Yeah.
You go from the Panhandle to Little Dixie, and they have 2 different lives, 2 different concepts, and then you throw the metros in there.
Yeah.
People, it's not even the same world.
That was one of my favorite things about working on statewide campaigns. You drive from Tulsa to Hugo to Lawton to Enid, completely different places. And then you have Boise City, which is, I don't understand why that's even in Oklahoma.
That's based in Colorado. Or New Mexico.
Call it Kansas.
Yeah, that's just,
I mean,
middle
they
of
do
nowhere.
call it no man's land, and I think that's somewhat appropriate. I mean, it's out in the middle of there.
Literally nothing.
And I actually like it out there, but it's different from.
It's not.
It's different from Hugo, Oklahoma.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
That's just, it's this whole paradigm of we are entering into a phase as a country that is going to be drastically different than anything you've seen or this country has seen since 1776 or 1860. And the only person alive to see that was Joe Biden. Like, you're drastically talking about we as a country no longer have the same vision for where we want to go. Yeah. AOC said today that there needs to be a list of Trump supporters. Like, that's not an American thing.
No, that's a Nazi thing.
I was going to say that's a pre-Nazi thing.
Well,
that's a Bolsheviks thing.
Yeah.
But you have now come to this paradigm where we are not going to get along as a country.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter who wins. And everybody on the left right now, it's like, let's just come together and get along. The only reason you're fucking saying that is because you think you won.
Yeah.
Let's come together and get along, and we can all unite as a country and sing Kumbaya because our guy's in charge. Until you piss them off.
Well, that's the thing that it just bugs the hell out of me because people do not want to think 4 years ahead.
Oh no.
Biden might not be president in 4 years. Trump is not going to be president in 5 years.
Yeah.
I can tell you that right now. So why don't we make preparations for that right now? Maybe try and figure some things out. What do we want the country to look like then, instead of in 2 weeks?
Well, and I will say this too, and I will almost take this back to 2012. There was no peaceful transition of power. Ish in 08. I guess there was no technical transition in 2012. But from 2012 till now, there's never been a peaceful transition of power. Like, we did that whole you're 1 degree off.
Yeah.
And it started in about 84, right after 84.
Yeah.
Because 84 was a landslide. Reagan won 49 states. Yeah. And you've got that 1 degree of separation over a generation, and now you're to a point in which that 1 degree of separation is 30 degrees of separation. I don't see a way that we reverse that degree of separation over 2 generations. Because it's technically millennials and Gen Zs. I just got a text message. You look like Goose.
I look like Goose.
Yeah.
Okay. I take that.
You know what that makes me.
Okay. Sure. Whatever.
You're welcome. But legitimately, until the second Wednesday, what is it? The first Wednesday after the second Monday in December, there is no president-elect. Like, this is driving me insane. It's driving me nuts because everybody's like, oh, we won, oh, we didn't win, it's not even decided yet. And in all honesty, the courts are going to decide this, and it doesn't matter which way it goes. 50% of the country is still going to be pissed. What?
When they say president-elect, does that mean they... Okay, so you have the election, and then you have the electors in December.
Yeah.
When are they president-elect?
I would argue not until after the electors.
So not until December 14th.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
The first Wednesday after the second Monday.
Yes.
Because nobody's been elected.
I guess technically it's not settled until after that. I mean, by law, most electors have to go with their state. But they can violate the law.
I'm like, there's no punishment for rogue electors.
And in some states there are.
Good luck.
Well, yeah. The other thing is, even if you catch them, that doesn't change how they voted.
Yeah. There's no way that actually happens, though. There's no way.
Probably not, because they're pretty strictly vetted by their parties.
Yeah, I was like, rogue electors, there's no way.
The kind of person that would do that is too honest to actually make it past the party system.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, sorry, I guarantee there's not on the Republican side, because they already tried that in 2012. Because there were rogue electors at the convention. That did not go well. Like, at the national RNC, there were rogue electors, and that did not go well at
It's
all.
always so fun, though. Like, it makes things so exciting.
No, it's not. It's just annoying.
Annoying.
It annoys. Procedure. There's a way you do stuff.
Okay.
What? I know, you're the lawyer.
Yeah, that's...
There's a way you do stuff.
Screw the rules.
Oh, God. I really do. I think at this point it doesn't matter who wins. Insurrection's inevitable.
We've talked about this for weeks. You're going to have violence on one side or the other.
I don't see... The problem is with the... I just said the problem. This might actually be the good thing. The good thing about the right is they gotta go back to work. Sorry.
Well,
You can't do in Oklahoma City what's being done in Portland right now because
true.
nobody lives in their bait. Like, the people Antifa in Portland or whoever it is that is literally torching City Hall on a daily basis, you can't do that here. It's like there's a stand-up comedian that has a thing that running about what is it? The Charlie Hebdo thing. He goes in, they went into Charlie Hebdo, and then what happens 2 weeks later? Nobody else would print it, so 2 weeks later, Texas has a convention, and they're like, we'll print it.
Yeah.
And the guy shows up to try and do the Charlie Hebdo thing all over again, and he gets shot in like the first 3 seconds.
Yeah.
Because in Texas, they will shoot you. This is such a strange paradigm of like, it no longer matters who wins. Each side will be violent, and it's amazing. Oh, the right-wing terrorists will be more violent. It doesn't matter. Violence is violence is violence.
Yeah.
It really doesn't matter. And the more violence proliferates, the more it will become popular, and the more popular violence becomes, the more we lose a society. I don't know. I really, really, really don't know.
I mean, I've been kind of expecting this for a while. I just wasn't sure when it was going to happen. So I'm not really all that surprised.
It'll take forever to get here, though. It will. There's no way. What?
Just pondering democracy.
True cracking.
What? Are you laughing at memes? Is it the meme that we both got? I didn't even look at it because I didn't.
Oh. She doesn't watch the show. Because I just laughed at her meme. But it doesn't matter who wins. Like, buy brass, buy gold. I don't know what to tell you. Buy food. Because if the truckers strike, you're going to get hungry.
TP shortage number 2.
Supposedly it's already happening.
Oh, is it?
Yeah. Like, when you sent that text, I'm like, have you been to Walmart? Apparently it's already happening.
Well, maybe people are,
Like, for God's sakes, people, you can't eat toilet paper.
True, although Venezuela did for a period pay their soldiers in toilet paper.
That is true.
I think that says a lot.
Microfiber rags are washable. That's all I'm going to say.
Gotta have electricity to run the washer, though.
No, you don't. You go down to the stream and wash it.
Are you going to stand in the same stream as that crap that's coming off of that rag?
No, I'm going to go to the end of it. Or make it fish food. There's a way to do it. Go get water out of a pond and put it in a bucket and wash your shit, and then there you go. I mean, there's ways to do it. Good Lord. And I'm one of the few people in the entire world that would think of that.
What, microfiber rags?
No, just the fact of, what do I do now? The washer don't work. Hey guys, we'll come over to here to this COVID internment camp and we'll have all the laundry. Side note,
Oh, here we go.
COVID vaccines are going to be free for everybody.
Really?
Yeah, according to Pfizer.
Free.
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 Free. According to Pfizer, they're going to be free for every American. Guess what? That's
probably partially true.
Oh, yeah. If there was any doubt about me taking that vaccine, it just went straight out the window.
I mean, Pfizer's going to get paid.
I don't care at this point. No, I'm not taking it.
Pfizer's going to get paid. You know that, right?
I know. They always get paid.
You know who's paying them, right?
Yeah, the government.
Yeah.
We gotta get flight suits.
Flights.
Yeah.
Gosh.
It's in a comment. We have to talk. We get flight suits.
I'll wear it.
I'll wear it. I don't care.
Where do we get those?
I have no idea.
I'm sure you can order like.
Halloween just happened. Surely we can find costume. I don't know if we can find costume flight suits our size though.
True. Pretty tall.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
6'1".
Shorty.
Okay, large. She better be pretty. That's all I'm saying.
Sorry, is my messaging distracting you?
I'm just saying, she better be pretty. I started a political fight on Facebook and I don't know what.
What else is new?
I really have tried not to. I've like tried to stay away. Here's the thing. Somebody made a comment that there's 570,000 homeless people in the United States and something like 17 million empty houses, most of which are owned by banks and foreclosures. And I made the comment back, okay, I understand that, but why did 600,000 people get to live for free when I don't? I don't think that's an unreasonable comment. Apparently it's unreasonable.
Well, I mean, that's somebody's property.
Yeah, but they're looking at it like it's the bank's property, so I know where this leads. Have the government take over the bank?
Yeah.
It's been an answer to a lot of things. Where do you see? Okay, where are we going in 6 weeks? Like as a
You mean like what country are we leaving to?
Latvia.
No, I'm going to Latvia. I will go to almost any country in South America before I go to Latvia.
We're going to Latvia.
Although I have been practicing my Russian, but not for that.
The coming invasion?
Yeah, communists still speak Russian, right?
No, I wasn't about to say. I guarantee we'll get all of our stuff ripped down.
Don't do that.
No, where are we going as a country in 6 weeks?
What's in 6 weeks?
Just, I mean, Christmas.
Right after the electors.
Yeah. You still think Trump wins?
I think Trump probably still wins. Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting.
I'm telling you, Joe Jorgensen and Kanye West probably are going to be actors. Sorry, I take it back. Joe Jorgensen might actually be a factor. Does that make you feel better?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, this is my no shit face. No, what do you like? Does it devolve in 6 weeks? Does it evolve in 6 months? How long is it going to take for this to devolve into chaos?
I don't see how it holds together 6 months and then all of a sudden gets kicked off. Like I don't see how that happens.
Oh, I do.
No.
Some stupid law. Here's the thing. I think we can both agree that Biden doesn't make it through 4 years. So Harris is probably going to be president somehow.
I don't know. Modern medicine is really a thing.
So are clones. However, you get to this moment in time. Sorry, body doubles, not clones.
I was wondering how you would make that work.
But you get to this moment of time where Harris is president, and Harris has the audacity to take executive orders on firearms or something like that Barack Obama only talked about.
Yeah.
Harris would do it.
She might. Yeah.
Because, I mean, she would have to get something spectacular to get reelected, because she can only get 4% of her party to vote for her. The country as a whole did not like Kamala Harris. And she's added people to sleep with to get to the top.
What do you think odds are that Biden is removed as president?
I think Pelosi already started it. Because when she was talking about using the 25th Amendment to remove a president, she said, this isn't about Trump.
Yeah.
I think there's a wholehearted expectation that Kamala Harris is president by 2022.
And that's not just coming out of left field. I mean, that's
Like, there is markers there to indicate that is what's coming.
yeah. Well, and there's history behind that amendment.
Yes, there is,
So,
and it's possible. I mean, I think what the DNC wants and what the left wing wants and what the real Speaker of the House, who was AOC, wants is Kamala Harris as president. Now, how do you get through the Senate side of it? I don't know. Unless they just pull some massive voter fraud in the last two that have it 50-50. But then that becomes the question that we've talked about before. If Biden dies in office, Harris takes over, who becomes president of the Senate? Because the president of the Senate is the vice president. I don't know.
Yeah.
I will tell you this right now. Nancy Pelosi is not Speaker of the House in January.
probably not.
She can't get 218 votes. There's no way. So Pelosi's out. Like, Pelosi's done. You will see Pelosi probably go these 2 years and decide to retire and fade off into the sunset. And then it's going
Which should have happened a long time ago.
I agree. It should have happened a long time ago. Because although I disagree with her on policy, 10 years ago, Pelosi could actually form a sentence. I don't want to see Pfizer stock today. It probably soared. Pfizer's going to get paid. But you run into this mindset of who becomes, say they pull some election from whatever, somehow it's 50-50, who becomes vice president to become president of the Senate. If you have a House and a Senate and a presidency that is all owned by one party, especially this left wing, you're going to see some interesting stuff. Because unlike Paul Ryan in 16th or 18, guess what? There is no, like, the far left will not stop and they will just run things through.
Yeah.
Versus Paul Ryan and the Republicans and the GOP had all three for 2 years and couldn't pull their head out of their ass long enough to get something passed.
Yeah. Maybe that's the Democrats at least mean business. Republicans don't.
I agree with that. I can hardly see that. I don't know. So you're thinking sooner rather than later.
Well, people have short memories.
That's true.
It's going to be harder to do. It's going to be harder to kick things off, or whatever you want to call that, in 6 months to a year than it is right now.
Is secession a viable option? Viable
option. Do I think people will do it?
Yeah.
No.
I mean,
They should.
they'll try.
I
There's a pretty strong coalition of people here about to try it.
I don't think you actually have a concerted effort by an organized state legislature to do it.
No, I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think this is going to become the new abolitionists.
I think secession is the best option. That you're going to have all these groups of, well, all the violent riots and all that. That's not interested in secession.
Yeah, no, that's interested in anarchy.
Well, they're interested in just taking over.
I still say it's 2 years before it gets to us.
Probably 2 years.
I mean, it will get to the middle of the country last, but you better be ready by the time it gets here, because that's gonna be, they're gonna have some momentum. Social media.
I'm on the Twitter
He's on the Twitter
at the Lucas Cohen.
at the Lucas Cohen. I'm done leaving Fox News over my shoulder.
It just moved through things so quickly. It's hard to tell what's related to what and not.
I'm on everything else: Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, Parler. At Greg Daniel, Jerry G, J, I, and Jilly. I would also tell you, all the qualified immunity stuff, but half of it got taken down this week. So give me a minute.
Censorship is great.
Censorship is great. That being said, come up with a new tagline yet?
No, I need to work on that.
No.
I'll just steal yours since I'm since I go first.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, is it?
I was like, if you can remember it.
Question everything, fall for nothing. Like, be prepared for anything. Sorry.
That's it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to steal a tagline from another show I listen to them all the time. In the words of one of the founding fathers of our country, preparing to fail, failing to prepare is preparing to fail. That being said, hopefully you hear this. If you do, it didn't get taken down yet. If you don't, to Valhalla. Bye!